Hey, Tom here, and I teach French on italki.com. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 tips to sound more natural when you speak French. Have you noticed that when you hear French speaker, they sound slightly different than you would expect them to speak? It's not only that they speak fast, it's also like their way of speaking is different. They sound different, they sound like they are eating their words. They sound like they are skipping some words. And actually, that's true. We do that. French speakers do that. And you can do it too. It's not wrong. It will make you sound more natural when you speak French. So in this video, I will give you 3 tips, 3 easy tricks you can add or remove to your way of speaking French to sound more natural when you express yourself in French. So if you apply these tips today, you will see that they are not hard and you will sound like you lived in Paris. Okay, here is the first tip. So you might have learned that in French, the negation is said using ne, pas. We put the verb, and before the verb we put ne, and after the verb we put pas, right? So for example, I don't know would be je ne sais pas. Well, in spoken French, as you can guess, we are kind of lazy and we skip the ne most of the time. Or we make it so short you don't hear it. So you can hear something like je ne sais pas, je ne sais pas. So you have like ne sais pas. Or you can hear something like je sais pas, and that's the most frequent. Je sais pas, je sais pas. It's even more contracted than that most of the time, but we will see that in the second tip. So for example, I don't understand, I'm not French. You would say that in spoken French. You would say je comprends pas, je suis pas français. And you see that it's actually really great because it simplifies the grammar. As a language learner, that's really what you need, right? Less grammar and a simple negation. So if English is not your mother tongue and negation sounds like something like ne, like for example you're Russian or you're Spanish, and be careful because negation in spoken French is used with pas, not with ne, because the classic mistake is to say je ne sais, and it's not correct. The spoken French way is je sais pas, je sais pas. And pas would be used like any other adverb. Okay, tip number 2, the use of on instead of nous. So you've probably noticed that already. In spoken French, we are lazy and on est feignant. Nous sommes feignants. So with the first one, you have on. On is used instead of nous most of the time in order to express we in French. So it's really convenient because the conjugation of on most of the time is the same as tu or even je. And the conjugation of nous is kind of tricky, right? It really differs from the first pronouns. So if you want to say we don't know, you would say on sait pas. On sait pas. On y va? Let's go. On y va. So y here is like there, somewhere, but what is important is on va. So if you take on sait pas, you can notice how easy it is to say it in spoken French compared to nous ne savons pas, which is we don't know as well, but in more formal French. So on sait pas is spoken French. So try to use on as much as you can. It will also help you make less grammar mistakes probably because the conjugation is easier. Okay, now here's the last tip. Pronoun contraction. Now that's what makes French sound weird. There are a lot of contractions in French when we speak spoken French, but the most common would be with je and tu. So you already know that je before a verb starting with a vowel will be like contracted to je, like j'ai, for example, I have, j'ai. But in spoken French, the je sound most of the time doesn't sound like je, but like sh, because it's a really short j sound. So it sounds like sh. For example, je sais, I know, taking the same example over and over, je sais would become sais. So I don't know in spoken French actually sounds like je sais pas. On fait quoi aujourd'hui? What are we doing today? On fait quoi aujourd'hui? We do what today? Je sais pas. Okay, so that's for je. It will be je sais will become j'ai. Je suis will become suis. So when you're using this contraction, make sure you're speaking fast. Because if you're speaking slowly, it sounds kind of weird. You know, if you say je sais pas, it kind of sounds weird. Just like in English, if you're using contractions, it's because you're speaking fast, right? Okay, second contraction with the pronoun tu. So tu, you can skip the u of tu if the verb starts with a vowel. Typically, you have, tu as will sound like ta. Tu as ta. For example, are you hungry? So in French, literally, you have hunger. So tu as faim will become ta faim. Ta faim? That's a good one to ask your French friends. Like, are we gonna eat? Ta faim? And tu es, you are, will become t'es. So for example, are you French? T'es français? Okay, so now you know how to sound more French when you speak French. As you can see, it's not hard. It's actually easier than the formal grammar. To sum up, use simple negation. Use only pas to express negation. Use on instead of nous. So for example, on mange pas is we don't eat. We are not eating. On mange pas. And then use a contraction for the pronouns je and tu. Je becomes je, par exemple. Je sais pas, I don't know, je sais pas. And tu es, tu as, or any verb starting with a vowel, you contract the tu into a t. So t'es is you are, ta is you have. So here you go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you would like to have a lesson with me to practice your spoken French, please book a lesson on italki and use the link in the description. Talk to you soon. Bye. Au revoir.